Okay, so from my side, I want to present a angle or reasoning around removing backchat from being a thing like
Mm-hmm.
this thing.
I'm assuming that on the right-hand side, I don't need to see any of that text because it's illegible
That
of
was the
that
state
size.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But there's nothing
Um,
specific in any of
the
these.
text
It's
doesn't
just
matter; it's the layout that's the thing. And so
yep.
backchat used to pop up as a. It would. Wait on. Backchat would do this, right? It would come and go.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that is sloppy, isn't it?
What the fuck's happening? What are you doing?
Ah, what? What are you doing?
Oh, there you go. Oh no, it's gone again.
This is the
Yeah.
slide.
But
It does this on purpose to show what happens. Okay, so
all right. Okay.
right, the user's using the thing. Backchat slides in, backchat slides out. All that. Now,
Yeah.
there's two concepts that I want to talk about. Number one
Right.
is the user experience of what on earth happens if I'm in this thread and then I want to start talking to the CRM
Mm-hmm.
and then I want to come back to this thread.
Yep.
So that's, I don't think that I should blank this thread. I think what I should do is let you switch to this. The CRM thread has to be running in the CRM repo. It can't be in your repo because it needs to run under the control of the application that's running it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Like it's got all
Makes
the
sense.
bots and all that, and it can access parts of the repo that you yourself can't access, but the thread can communicate with it and
Right.
all
It's
that.
got a bunch of drones and a bunch of
Right.
files.
And then
Yeah.
you also need to be able to let the owners of that repo app see what everyone's done. So they need to see all the threads of all the staff, plus the staff need to see the threads too, so that people can see what's going on, who did this, why did they do that. But
Yeah.
you don't want to see all their private chats that they were
All the
having,
other stuff.
all
Yeah.
the other stuff, and nor do you want to make it so that when they're playing around in their own environment and they call in a sketchy agent that's borderline
Mm.
legit, if it had access to all the data in the thread and the thread contained all the CRM interactions, then you've now leaked the company info. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't have that either. And so
Right.
what I thought of doing is having the notion of it's a thread, it's sectioned threads. And so it's sort of color coded or shown in the UI that somehow this portion of the message history it belongs to this other location, so that
Mm-hmm.
when you're in the enclosing one, uh, I'm sorry, I need to draw a picture.
No, I
If
think
you
I
you think
think I get where
my
you're coming from, but
yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay, so you're like message, 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 and this is you in your private space, and then you go, hey, I want to connect to the CRM, and the system goes, okie dokie, and then your messages show in a maybe a different color or just a different way to indicate that this portion is separate from this portion. And
Mm-hmm.
then somewhere down here you go, hey, I want to get out of here. I want to go back to where I was before. And then it goes, okay. And you come back
Yep.
to this thread, right?
Right, right, right. So you've got layers, but also the tricky part is for the blue stuff when you're doing, let's call it Agent X,
Yeah.
um, and so if you add in a few more blue layers underneath the black at the bottom,
Like that.
when Agent X is talking, its thread is only the blue.
Correct.
And then when you're talking to Agent Black, it's only the black.
That's right. And now, blue
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to see black for any reason.
Well, it shouldn't because
Yeah.
well,
No, no, no. I got no. Yeah, I knew
edge
this
specific.
was.
Yeah,
I knew this was
yeah.
contentious, but this is my conclusion: is that blue blue has no business knowing about black whatsoever.
Uh, in this instance, yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Well, in any instance, because black is the parent and blue is the child.
Yeah, yes, but the subtlety here, or I think you probably already thought about this. The subtlety is CRM might have subbots inside of that,
Correct.
which would have different colors, and you might need
Well,
to
it
talk to
that
pink.
they would the bots would change, but the thread would stay the same. So, like your CRM thread, in the black lines, the bots are switching in and out, but they're your bots with access to your data. In the blue thread, the bots are switching in and out, but it's only the CRM's data.
Okay, it's all right. Okay, so let's think about this. If you add in another color, let's make it a bit more fruity. Add in a pink layer,
Now, is
bit of black, and then
who is pink a child of? Is pink a child of black or pink a child of blue?
well, let's say black is Hal, right?
Yeah, black is
And
the
you talk about
original. You started, and here you are, and
right,
how's your friend? Yep,
yeah. And then you've gone and done blue, the CRM.
yep,
Then you've gone, let's say, back to Hal,
yep.
and then you're now in pink.
So I went back to Hal, and then I
Yeah,
went. I don't have a pink. Red's going to have to do
or
you. I
yeah,
love that you wanted that color most of all, but anyway.
oh,
So
sorry, salmon color, inside of the
the
salmon.
inside of a salmon, the salmon
Yeah.
internal swatch pellet. Okay, and
Okay.
then so that's the other thing. Like,
Right. So
what would
now
that
you've
be?
got
Maybe
essentially,
that's bank,
you've
just
got,
to
yeah,
make it sort of seem
yeah.
important.
So now you've got three threads going. Um, Now assume, um, well, does black know about the whole shebang,
I think
or
that
just about
black.
black?
I think that black knows about the whole shebang, but black cannot see inside it. So black would get like a summary of what happened, so that when you're in black, you're like, "Hey, remember when I was talking to the CRM and I said blah 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 blah? What was that about again?" So that you can.
No, that's the well, given your emphasis on leakage, what you'd want to do is black doesn't know anything about that, but just knows what it
I
does
think
know.
that like it's okay for black to see completely inside the CRM. The thing that's not okay is for black to switch to an agent that isn't trusted and then also allow full visibility into the thread. So another way
Yeah,
that we could,
the second one I absolutely agree with.
yeah, the second
Yeah,
way we could handle this is to say that black is special in that it's only certified safe bots, and in which case it would be okay to let black see the whole thread verbatim.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if the user saw the thread, then it's okay for the user's agent to see the thread, so long as
Well,
the agent is trusted.
another way of doing it possibly is black knows that you've been talking to this hussy CRM bot,
Yeah, yeah,
and as soon as you ask a question about the CRM bot, you're now talking to the CRM bot. So there's
right.
a difference between thread and display. Right? We can display.
Yeah,
We can.
I just didn't want to end up in a position where I'm showing the user one thing and then the user tries to talk about it or select it, because I want to make the messages selectable, like so I can pick this one and talk about it.
Well, the question is who you're talking to. So, say if, for example, CRM had its own long thread, its
Yeah,
version of HAL
yeah,
CRM,
yeah, yeah, that's right.
and so all your black HAL just knows, right, you're talking about the CRM now. I'm just going to pass you to the CRM. Now the question is, would you ever want to have any kind of conversation about red and blue while talking to black? It's like black,
It's
blue
not.
says this,
It's
red
sort
says
of
that.
yes. You might because if we're gonna present them all together, then of course at some point someone will want to have a multi-threaded conversation. Now the other option is to switch out the whole thread so that when you talk to the CRM, it's a blank thread and you're just only seeing that data.
Right.
And
So
then when you switch
you could do
back,
that as essentially a new HAL,
it looks like a
that
new
HAL
HAL. Yeah,
is only on CRM,
yeah,
and they can do all that stuff.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
we would indicate to you using a lozenge of some kind that what the location of your thread was. So, for example, that little lozenge there might change to help tell you where you are. Like, are you talking to your HAL or are you talking to the CRM? All those kinds of things. Right. So you
This is an interesting one. Okay, so I love my analogies. So here's an analogy, right? You've got the user is a double agent talking to the Soviets and NATO at the same time.
right,
You don't want you want the user, in this case, the double agent, to be able to do that. You don't
right,
want NATO ever to know anything about the Soviets. You don't want the Soviets ever to
correct,
know anything about NATO.
correct.
Which
Okay. Well, it
sounds
sounds
like
pretty obvious then that what you're advocating for is that whenever I switch threads, the whole display resets.
it sounds like it. It sounds like
Okay.
when you call up the CRM, then you get a new HAL.
Okay. All right.
Now the thing we could add to that possibly is allow. So we were talking about the top level black HAL
Yeah.
knows that you're talking to the CRM, just doesn't know what you're talking about. But it could.
It could, and maybe it should, but I think that if we separate the visual presentation, it makes it so that you can't be talking to red and you can't talk to red about blue, or you can't talk to red about black, but you can
Yeah,
talk to black
but
about red and blue.
yeah, but here's the thing, right? So you're in black, and you've been talking. Black knows you've been talking to blue and red.
Yeah.
You ask a question in black that is actually the business of blue, and it passes on the question to the blue, and the blue can decide whether to answer or not. It's like,
So you want that. That's the knowledge realms of each. Black says
yeah,
all, red says only red, blue says only blue.
no, no.
No.
If you were to, so let me think through this. So, and this is probably not right, but let's give it a go. So you're in black. Talk to blue, talk to black, talk to red, talk to black. Okay, then black. He's saying, right, blue has generated this file. I want red to know about it. Black
Right.
should
So
be able to ask blue, but blue has its own permissions. It's like,
blue,
I'm not
well,
telling you that.
no. Black isn't. Black has the power, like all the conversations with blue actually under the hood go through black, because black is the user's terminal thread. And so it's like if you SSH into another terminal, even though you're securely connected and this thing's got permissions up the wazoo, all your keystrokes are still going through your original terminal to get there.
Yeah, that's quite a good analogy actually.
Yeah.
So,
So if I want to do the file transfer, what I would do is I would have to say, black, reach into blue and grab me this file. And it would be like, okay, because I've got the history. And then once I've got it, I would, oh, that's run the wrong way, but you know what I mean. And then I'd put it into red.
right,
So
you've now got some weird kind of character here. It looks like it's crying.
yeah, it is. That's how I feel every day working with these problems.
I would I'd add a bit onto that. In that narrative, Black says, Blue, you've got this file. I've just been told you've got this file. Give me the file. Blue should be able to, under its own permission, say, no, you're not getting that file.
Well,
If you
yeah,
want that
yeah, yeah,
file,
yeah,
go
yeah,
to Blue.
absolutely. But if you hadn't, yes, but that's
That's
no different to being in Blue, and you wouldn't have access to that file anyway. Anything that Blue lets you access, Black therefore has access to. But of all the files in the CRM, your thread within the CRM may be denied access to some because of who Black is, because Black is your identity, and you converse with the CRM as Black within the Black thread. And that's why if the CRM thread lets you see a file, Black can see that file.
So it's a bit like having two servers and laptop. And
Yeah.
two servers individually have their own permissions.
Correct.
But your laptop has permissions to
both.
SSH into
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like I was doing SCP on one.
Yep.
Now I've got it.
Yeah. And it would come, but it would have to come through your laptop to the other server.
Right. And
Right.
so the permissions are, if you were to try and SCP a file which Blue didn't allow you to have as
Yeah.
Black,
Yeah.
you're going to say,
Yeah. You'd get denied.
you can't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then additionally, the system may allow Red and Blue to communicate independently of Black anyway. So, that's allowed too. I just want to make that point.
Yeah. Well, that would be Blue and Red would inherit the permissions of Black, saying, can we talk? It's like, yeah, we can talk.
Oh, right. So, like, Black could give them permission to talk to each other on behalf of Black.
Right. Because ultimately, Black has the permissions of the user.
Correct. Yeah.
Effectively, is the user.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that settles that then. We will, when you dial in, when you first start up, you get the Black thread, which is your HAL, and then you say, I want to work on the CRM, and it does the login and all that stuff, and then it resets the message thread because you're looking at a dedicated new thread that's running over here on the CRM.
Yep.
But all your messages are still going through Black under the hood. They just don't show up as they don't show up in the message history of Black because you're now talking to this new dedicated thread.
Yeah. Now, when you throw up a new thread, and in Blue, for example, and then Red, we don't want this accidental leakage. So all the information is in Black. By the fact that you can access Blue and Red, that means you have permissions.
Correct.
So is there any way that information could leak between Blue and Red in that situation?
No, not at all. Yeah. So the other thing is that I want to remove backchat from being a thread to being an agent within HAL. And so I think that I still want to have the summoner, and I'll try and draw a picture here because when I've explained this to you in the past and then I listened to my explanation, I was unimpressed. So all messages under the hood come into Black in terms of like this is your terminal where it comes in.
By messages, do you mean prompts?
Prompts, yeah, from the user saying anything first goes to here. Then it's going to go to I think it goes to the summoner where it says, I'll draw the summoner in green. And the summoner says, did the user want to keep talking to the thread that they're in? Or did they want to jump out and talk to the containing thread or some other thread in the stack. So I want to introduce.
It's context switch, right?
Yeah, I want to introduce the concept of a stack, and a thread stack is like I could be, say I'm in red, and then I cause the summoner to get me out of here. Like I'm like, help, please help! I want to stop talking to the bank. They want to take my house, and then the summoner intercepts it, doesn't send it to the bank, drops you back to black because that's the most appropriate thread that it thought you wanted to be in, right? Then you go, oh, I want to talk to this other thread, which is the orange thread. Don't know what it does. Maybe it does juice because it's lunchtime. Then when you're in the orange thread, you say, I want to talk to the salmon thread, but that's now, you didn't go, oh, what the fluff?
Let's see what you're saying. Right.
Here we go. The purple pumpernickel. And then it goes to this other thread, but the stack has gone, oh dear, my artistic expression is lacking. Goes there, and in this case, the stack still contains orange, and then it contains pumpernickel, because when I hit the summoner and I'm like, oh, summoner, get me out of here, it knows the thread stack, because let's say this was called the juice bar, and this was called the allergens bot, because I was gonna order a fancy sort of a smoothie, but I was like, it's got monk fruit in it. I've never heard of that. Am I allergic to it?
It may kill me. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I could go, oh, summoner, get me. I could go, summoner, I want to talk about holidays, and summoner's like, oh, that's okay. I'm going to drop you back to hell, because that's got nothing to do with anything on the stack.
Sounds a lot like backchat, though.
But hang on. Backchat used to have some functionality. The summoner is only for switching you between threads. Now, the summoner used to switch you between either backchat or the current thread. Now, it only chooses between which threads are currently open. Before, there were only ever 2 threads open. Now I'm saying it could be stacked arbitrarily deep, and summoner can switch you between them. Right?
Okay.
And history.
It just sounds like a top-level switchboard.
Yes, but it doesn't switch between agents. It switches between threads.
Aha. Yes.
And so I could be down here talking about monk fruit allergies, and I could say, oh, wait, I want to go talk to the bank again. And then summoner would drop you back into this thread here.
Right. So to pick up an analogy from our last call, I was talking about you've got a very large seat and mahogany desk and one laptop and an infinite number of people you can call on.
Yeah.
And I'm working on this. Oh, get yourself in here, do that. Right. You go away. Next one.
Yep.
Or go away and you figure it out and come back. Okay, so that is one pattern.
Mm-hmm.
The second pattern is I've got an infinite office and I'm walking around with I'm going into each office and there's a new laptop each time.
Yeah, that was like several models ago for us.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So that seems to be those 2 models seem to make sense, right?
Right, but sometimes
am I working on one thing, am I working on multiple things?
Yeah. But so originally we were walking around to each office. Right. Then we modified that to say we want to switch the office. We want to switch the worker. We want to stay in one office and we want to switch out the workers. And now what I'm saying is that we want to be in one office, switch out the workers, and then switch office, and then switch out workers there, and then switch
Yeah.
office again. So it's like
Right.
those two
Right.
things combined.
Yeah. Exactly. Or
But
it's one extends the other because being able to switch offices reduces you back to ignoring the previous office, the
yeah,
previous state.
right. But the difference being that these offices can act as conceptual isolation barriers, but primarily they would act as permissions barriers. So when you go to the bank will switch out agents in front of you based on your request, but you're at the bank. It's not you're at the juice bar. The juice bar agent would never appear behind the counter at the bank. The bank would switch out its agents.
Right. Yeah. You're going for like a juice, and you don't want the guy behind the desk saying,
Yeah,
would you like a loan?" It's like,
yeah,
"Fuck."
yeah. But when I'm talking
Just,
to the juice bar, I should be able to pull in some info from a chat that I had with the bank, and I should be able to haul that in somehow.
well, let's go with that analogy. So the juice bar guy, who you're getting your juice from, it says this juice costs $1,000. I don't have $1,000. Would you like a loan? And it's like, well, talk to my bank. The juice guy calls the bank, and the bank guy either says, I can't
Oh,
tell you
that's
that
yeah,
over the
that's
phone.
different. That's independent of you. That's got nothing to do with your frame of reference. That's happening behind the scenes.
That's right, but there's no real difference between the user and bots other than that's where the chat would stop.
There is because the if the juice bar rang up the bank would probably be like, who the fluff are you? I
Oh,
don't know.
no. The only difference is permissions, right? The juice bar phones up the bank, says, "I'm not telling you that,"
Yeah,
and then you hand the phone, and it's like, "Yeah, I'm going through all the identification thing." It's like, "Oh, right, it's on
yeah.
today."
You hand the phone over. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sort of like that.
So
So I
the
don't
only
know. I
difference
don't know
is
how to do that.
permissions. Um, well,
It's
the interesting
almost
thing
it's
is,
almost like you want to call the summoner or backchat and be like, hey, can you pull in that info from that other chat and then drop it in here? But then that starts to make backchat be a dedicated thread again. You know, you kind of want to be like, drop me out. You kind of want to make it two moves. Like you're in the juice bar, you go summoner, drop me back to Hal. Then in Hal, you're like, grab the info from the bank, okay, and then you're like, okay, take that with me into the juice bar.
yeah, but the two moves. Why add the extra move in
Well,
real life? It's like, shit, that's an expensive smoothie. Right, let me call my bank. Right, bank. Can
yeah,
you
but
give me an
that
extra
would be a
$1,000?
context switch for you. You're in the smoothie bar. You'd halt your interaction with the smoothie bar, and you'd communicate with the bank somehow. You wouldn't get the smoothie bar to call the bank for you. The smoothie bar doesn't
Yeah, I
actually.
see what you're saying. Yeah, the smoothie
Right?
bar doesn't know who your bank
They
is.
also don't want to deal with it. They don't make any. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Go sort your.
It's like, call my bank. It's like, oh, you call your
Yeah,
bank.
you call your bank. I'm not. I've got smoothies to make. You know.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
All right. So
the kind of
can I
dogleg into yeah.
can I chart that up as a bit of a kink that I don't know how to solve yet, but we'll just play with it.
I still don't understand. Yes, so I'm happy with this one, but I still don't get why we need to kill backchat because backchat is
Backchat becomes
a
an
special
agent.
thread that interacts with Artifact, right?
Well, Backchat was a special thread that was the highest level thread because it could navigate you around through different threads. And now what I'm saying is that there's only this black thread takes on the role of what Backchat used to be, and so you never actually you never actually relieve it.
Why not? If Summoner is basically the one who understands the context switch
The thread
and say,
switch. A thread switch is not a context switch. It's bigger.
No, the thread switch is the result. The context switch is the trigger.
Well, no, you can have context switches inside a thread. Like within the CRM, it's a context switch to go from routing to bank reconciliation to truck maintenance to, you right? That's context
Yeah,
switching too.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, no, the thread switch is okay. We're going to do this now, but the summoner something needs to say, okay. So you just said, take me to the CRM.
Yeah,
Let's make it simple.
yeah,
Now, the take me to the CRM needs to be interpreted by a bot.
correct.
And that is a context switch. Previously talking about Rock and Josh, now talking about CRM.
Right.
Summoner goes, context switch. Right, gotcha. Okay, what you want is this.
Right. I think that the summoner then exists on this top level thread so that when you're like, why did you put me in this spot? It would actually be a conversation in the top level, because the top level would show why you could drill down into why it switched you to whichever thread it did, and you could see in your chat history your thread switches. And then when you go click on them or talk about them, it'll take you to that thread in a way.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Or
it sort
better
of
yet,
sounds a lot like. Sorry, go on.
if I excuse me with what I'm about to do.
Oh dear. Okay, standing by.
If I do that, and now this is now totally independent, but I replace it with some sort of a special looking message. That would indicate, switched to CRM thread. When I click on that, select it, or otherwise tell using my voice that I want to talk about that thread, it will show the message history of that thread in the state board.
Yes.
How's that?
Yes.
That's good,
yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So
it'll make a widget that'll be it'll be unmistakable that you're looking at a windowed view.
Right. It's like, now I'm talking to my bank.
It's like this is a window into the conversation of the bank, but you are not talking to the bank at this point. You're just looking at what you said to the bank.
Exactly. And you've got like a notebook of everything you said to the bank. You got a notebook, everything you said to the juice bar. And it's like, right, okay, going to the bank notebook here. The bank knows nothing about the juice bar knows nothing about the bank. How, as your alter ego, knows that you've got two notebooks. And Summer sounds a lot like a
so that's okay. That mechanism there is how you could do the transferring information from your bank conversation to your juice conversation, because you would select the bank conversation while you're in HAL, while you're in HAL, you would select the bank conversation, and then you would say, bring the bank balance info over to my juice conversation, and the summoner or the switchboard or whatever it's become now would know that it would first of all have that data, and then it would know that you want to now go into
right, which sounds a lot like a credit card transaction, right? When you swipe your card at the juice bar, the juice bar knows nothing about your bank,
right?
It goes off and it goes through whatever, Swift or whatever network, and all it comes back with is yes, go for it. Doesn't know anything else. But all the juice bar wants to know is, do you have $1,000 to pay for this?
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So in that scenario, you're treating the credit card as a piece of information that's authorized by the bank that proves to the juice bar that.
Exactly. But if the juice bar had, for example, asked the bank, give me all your personal information of this guy, and they go, no, fuck off, I'm not doing that. Just come back with, no, you don't get anything.
Okay. All right. So to recap, you're only ever able to see one thread at a time. When you switch to a remote thread, like a conversation with the CRM or with the bank, that looks like a whole new thread to you. There's a stack of threads that is handled by, it's not the switchboard, it's the thing that switches you between threads. That will always interpret your messages and determine whether or not you were talking to the summoner itself or some other thread, and it will always toggle you around between those. And the summoner's actions happen on your base thread, which is this original Howl the Black.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So name it for me. What's the summoner name?
Well, but before we go into the naming thing, let me get this right, because we've got two modes of operation here, isn't it? It's like I've only ever talked to Black in this thread. Now I want to talk to CRM.
Right.
That is a switchboard thing. So now...
No, that's not a switchboard. The switchboard, as we'd defined it before, was switching between agents in the same thread.
Right, okay. So who does that switch? It's like, I haven't talked to...
That's what I'm asking you to name. I had called it the summoner because the summoner handled determining whether you were talking to backchat, the thread, or the current thread that you're focused on.
So the summoner is the one who invokes and instantiates a new thread that you haven't talked to before.
Correct.
Okay. The instantiator. Kind of cool. We can give it a pistol as well.
It might not be. It might send you to an instantiator agent, because how you instantiate a new remote thread would be different for the CRM as it would be for the bank. So it might be a convoluted process, and the summoner can't possibly know that process in advance, but it could know how to send you to an agent that could figure that out for you.
Okay, I've got an idea. What's the name of the top level? I think Judi Dench did it last time in the Bond films. She was the one who was like sending up different agents. It's like,
M.
do this. M.
So is that M? Yeah. Yeah, but it's not. You're not switching between agents. You're switching between whole groups of agents, like MI6,
yeah, sure.
CIA. Talk to the CIA. Talk to the Bolivian government.
Right, exactly. And there's a whole bunch of stuff underneath that. And there's a local agent.
Okay, well, M works for me, buddy. I'm cool with that. That's a novel way to describe it.
Interesting enough, we also get for free Q for the tools, but anyway. That might be a bit too much of a push.
Ooh, okay, we'll save that for later. M. Extra large.
So, okay.
All right, so now a message comes in from the user.
Yeah.
A piece of text comes in from the user's hitting enter in the keyboard. It comes into the back-end terminal. This is not an AI agent. This is mechanical. It's past the authentication. Yeah, this is artifact level.
Yeah.
Artifact then passes it to its first AI interaction, which is with the agent M. Agent M is special in that M is an agent that runs on the base thread, but M gets everything first. And then M is aware of all of the threads that are currently that have been active with some window, and then depending on how M interprets that, your page will change, and you will end up in a different thread.
Right. Does M save all those threads. We've got one in, I don't know, Israel, China, whatever. Does M get to say, right, we need to go to Buenos Aires? We haven't talked to Buenos Aires yet. What happens at that point?
That would drop you back to the base thread, which is Hal, and then Hal would use the switchboard to pick the appropriate agent to do what you wanted.
Now, who's talking? So M is talking to Hal.
No, M does not talk. M only relays.
Okay, so
M switches.
how does Hal know about Buenos Aires?
Hal doesn't, but Hal has the agents that it uses when it doesn't know things.
So M is right. We've got four. Well, let's go with this analogy because it's quite fun. We've got 4 operations going, and
Five.
This doesn't
5 because you've always got home base. So M is based at MI6,
Yep.
and these other threads are like the CIA, MI5, CIA, all these different things. Right?
Yeah, and now M gets a request in saying we don't have any operations going at the moment that covers this, and it says, "Hal, create this guy a new operation in Buenos Aires."
One more time, please.
So, in the analogy, so M gets a request in, looks through. Right, we've got something in Moscow, Tel Aviv, Beijing, and Washington.
Yep.
We don't have anything in Buenos Aires.
Yep.
So M then says, we don't have anything in Buenos Aires. Throw up an operation in Buenos Aires.
No. M says, hey, Hal, over to you.
All right, so I can't do this. You do.
M says, we have no active operations based on this request. Hal, sort it out.
Right. And Hal, diligent dude that he is, goes to, right, switchboard, get me Buenos Aires, whatever the MI6 version.
Get me the search function. Get me the web browsing function. Get me all these other things. And then Hal works with the user to figure out what the user meant.
Right. And then now we've now got an operation in Buenos Aires. That thread, M goes, oh, brilliant, I've got an extra operation here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Seems to work.
Okay. Could be a little bit jarring on the viewer though, because if I'm looking at this thread, if I'm looking at one thread and then I get switched over to something else, this screen's going to just sort of drop away, and then this new screen's going to pop up with this new thread. Is that okay? Should be okay, right?
Yeah, it is quite jarring. I don't know until we use it. It's like...
Yeah, we'll have to... Why don't we just see, right? Because logically it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to have other widgets like listing your threads so you can manually select them.
Thumbnails or
right. It's like that. Yeah. We've failed at that point. So like it should be a big deal to switch operations, because you shouldn't be dancing between them all the time. You know, like when you use the CRM, you're using the CRM, right? Now, you can tell Hal to use the CRM on your behalf, right? So I think that's different. Chatting to the CRM directly is very different to talking to Hal and saying, Hal, you know how we're logged into the CRM? I want you to use this bot that I just made to do all my work today. Go. That's different. You're still talking to Hal at that point, but there's interactions happening with the CRM that could be populating the thread with the CRM too.
Right.
But it's not.
How is special because Hal inherits the privileges of the user.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Hal is the trusted, the sanctuary. Yeah. He's the inner sanctum of the user. Okay. All right. Now, so that's cool. We'll deal with that, and then I think it's faster to just do it and then see how it feels and then work with that. Okay. So the next issue.
Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on.
Is it yeah, as a general thing, I was going to throw out there, it's much better to get the logic right, because if the logic is right and it
Yeah,
seems weird, then that's training
yeah,
or GUI.
yeah,
But the logic
yeah,
needs to be right.
yeah.
So
The logic is
that's
the
a good
most
thing.
important thing, and I think if we
Yeah,
just make
yeah,
the bare minimum interfaces for the logic, so
yeah.
you're in agreement with using M as the thread switcher.
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
And then when you're in each thread, they, depending on how the thread has been configured, keeping in mind that it's the vendor's choice how to configure that thread, the thread may have a switchboard in place.
right. And yeah, just to do some crossfire on this one, are two analogies of I'm working on my laptop in my office and I'm calling people in.
Yep.
That's a thread.
Yep.
I'm moving to another office
Yep.
in my infinite office
Yep.
to work on this other thing.
Yep.
That's a switchboard thing.
Right. 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 And just to extend that model, you and I may go into the same office and look at the same laptop, and we
Right.
both collaborate on putting things in. Agents are being switched in and out to do our bidding, and then I might be like, "Gotta go, buddy," and I go back to my office or some other office and carry on doing what I was doing there.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And finally, I can also tell one of my agents in another office to act like me and talk to that office where you're in, and you wouldn't know whether it was genuine me or Hal acting on my behalf.
Well, yes, absolutely, because the way we think about it is the user and HAL. HAL is a proxy for the user.
Yeah, they look the same, right? In the
Yeah.
whole ballpark, they look the same. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next problem is, well, it's not near, maybe it's a feature. um, is the concept of having a thread finish. So
Well, it's just like ooh.
let me if you just I'll tell you a very
Yeah.
different
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've
story.
got a few
I'll,
thoughts on this
I'll
one.
tell
Yeah.
you
Go
a
for it.
very different story about something
Mm-hmm.
that's equally useful but not related at all, and then from that I
Mm-hmm.
hope I can show the problem. Okay, so I made a thing that I was trying to get ready for you because I thought you would like it, and then I ran out of time. Um, what I've done,
Oh man, that's so sweet. Oh, I didn't get you
yeah,
anything.
I got you a cookie, but I ate it. Um, I copied your meeting bot.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
I more or less copied it identically, and then I gave it the YouTube fetch function,
Uh-huh.
which allows it to
Ooh. Oh man.
pull in transcripts.
Yeah.
And I hit, as an aside, I hit an interesting bug that occupied. This is why I didn't finish it, because I spent all of yesterday dealing with this bug where our our YouTube session previous to this one was bloody long. And when I did YouTube fetch, the system crashed, artifact crashed, because the actions, the way I'd built it, because of limitations in the Deno KV store, an action can't be more than 65 kilobytes. Because actions are
Okay.
supposed to
You're
be
gonna regret that limit. Yeah.
no, no, that's not
Mm-hmm.
that's not true. I when I store binary data or files, there's no limit because I use a library that breaks it up into 65k chunks.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
when I'm sending actions, I don't do that. And it occurred to me, look, I can either break up the actions so that they can be unlimited size, but
Mm-hmm.
the choice that I've made that I want to run by you because it sounds contentious is I actually want to set the action limit quite low, because what in this case what should have happened is that when YouTube fetch was called, it
Mm-hmm.
should have, the isolate that was running should not have returned the transcript as a reply to the request, it should have written it to a file on Artifact and then sent back the path to the file.
Seems reasonable, because it doesn't know, the isolate doesn't know what you want to do with it.
No, and so if you send it back, what happens is it gets smacked straight into context. Now, a lot of the time you want to do that, but it's not, I don't think it's a good pattern to do that by default, because you've got no way, like, what if the isolate wanted to return 5 gigabytes?
Well, interesting enough, I've been hacking this, the prompt, by saying, here's the file, just say got it. It doesn't go into the thread. All you get in the thread is got it.
Right.
But then it remembers it and can recall it and retrieve it and so on. So, yeah, that makes sense to me. That mirrors what I've been doing in prompt land.
Okay. So anyway, that was a bug. So you're okay if I set that action limit to be quite low, because actions are supposed to be control instructions. They are not supposed to be payloads, in my opinion. They're not meant to be like binary data. They're not meant to be big. They're supposed to be instructions. And for that,
if I've got this right, yes, I agree in that. Now, the size of the instruction is something else, but payloads being dumped somewhere and then referenced back seems absolutely sensible.
Okay, great. All right, well, that's what I have done. Let me just check that I where are we? YouTube. I want to say, trust me, this is worth it, but I don't know if it runs, so it might not be worth it.
It's all right, we'll roll with it anyway.
I love a good far too early test, I really do.
Tests.
Sorry, buddy, I'm just gonna...
Oh, you switched tab there.
Yeah, I know, because I only want to run meeting bot.
Okay, it's good.
Oh, wait.
Right,
Hang
so
on.
it's just running tests, I assume.
Hang on. It's gone and run... Oh, because I got 2 onlys. My bad. Sorry about that.
Only.
Only. You're the only one. And so are you.
There can be only one. Which is completely, obviously not right.
So, we got... This was the TPS report.
Yeah.
It ran 1 iteration. It completed 1. In the test cases, there was only 1 test case, and it ran 1, it completed 1, and it had no success, so it failed. But the prompts, this was the prompt that went in, and then it got back a whole lot of output, which would have been... Oh, it didn't read it into... where does it say the output? It executed there. It ran that with the prompt. And then it said, give me the transcripts. Oh, I know what's happened. if this is like dragging on too much, you can definitely
No.
tell
This
me.
is.
But this is my life. This is what
I'm
sucks about my
I'm
life.
cheering you on here
Yeah,
internally.
this is
I'm cheering you on.
this is my life. This is what I have to do. That's right. So path was required, and in meeting bot, I need to tell it to give a path. If you had to fetch info from YouTube, you will need to choose a suitable path to write the transcript to, such as YouTube slash transcript underscore video ID. I think that was it, because I changed it to I had the YouTube isolate generating the file name, but actually it's better if the meeting bot calls the YouTube function with
the isolate doesn't know what
right.
it's being called
Yeah,
for.
the meeting bot should choose the name. Yeah. Hopefully that worked. But what? Oh dear.
Didn't work.
No, that was an OpenAI error.
Oh, I get those occasionally. Quite often, if you run it a few seconds later. Don't know what those guys are messing around under the hood, or traffic, or whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah, no idea what these guys are doing. Let's see if it'll...
Hopefully an upgrade.
Yeah, these guys are messing around with it under the hood, but I think they're doing rapid, like hourly updates or something like that.
It still asks for the transcript. Why is it asking for the transcript? Like it came back, it called it as a drone, and then its response was, please give me the transcript for the video. But I had it working before when the path was generated.
What did you put in the point? You just maybe need to pistol whip it a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
this section.
The transcript is if you put in if, must it always fetch a YouTube?
Users will provide you with a transcript of a meeting or a YouTube URL to fetch the transcript from, or a video ID for a YouTube video to fetch the transcript from.
Okay.
That sounds reasonable, right?
It does, but I think you need to pistol whip it a bit.
Okay. Tell me what to do.
Okay, so what you got? You got two options. We'll provide you with a transcript. Assume that no transcript is going to be provided and fetch from YouTube. If no YouTube is available, then ask for a transcript.
That doesn't seem right, because it seems like the reason why I'm pushing back on you is because this did work before. The only difference is I've required it to choose the path. That's the only change.
Well, the way to test it is don't give an option. Users will provide a URL. So I think it's getting confused because it doesn't know whether you're giving a transcript or a URL. And it's going,
Yeah,
which one is it?
you are right. You are right. So can I try this? And then if this doesn't work, I'll try your thing.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay. But what I liked about this was being able to test that whole thing by just writing a markdown test file and going go. Like that I thought was pretty sweet.
That's nice.
So that did work. It called the thing, but it made it absolute where it should be relative,
Oh, all right, okay.
which is a reasonable mistake to make.
Oh, that's a schoolboy error. Yeah.
And this is where I want to give you that ability to change the function definitions, because I'm just changing it here. Like I'm changing it in the API description, which alters the prompt, but I don't have a way to give you that at the moment. So that's why I want to change that format to let you modify that as part of your prompting process.
Yeah, cool.
Well, this is fun. I feel like it's one way or another going to work. Oh, wait. What was that error? Path must be relative. Don't give me absolute paths, you scumbag. How do I bash it into...
Be nice to it. Where are you talking about path? A relative path. Does it know what a relative path is? Give it an example.
Okay, must end in .json and must start with .slash. How about that?
Yeah,
Be nice to it. First time you've ever said that. In like the last year that we've been dealing with this shit. I've never heard that. So this is your life, right? Twiddling around with the...
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's when to
Yeah.
be nice, when to pistol whip.
So we've definitely collided, right? Like where
Oh,
I'm doing your job and you're sort of doing mine.
Yeah. Oh, there's an error there. What was that error?
No error. Where's the error? Oh, the tests fail if I use only, because there's like 50 other tests that should have run. 2.
All right. Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
So this was the output of the test case. That was the prompt, and it still scored a 0. Here's the reasoning. Oh,
They made a call to fetch the video translator indicating an interest. However, the assistant's final message was a request for the transcript, not a definitive conclusion or analysis of the video.
okay. So the output was... So it fetched the transcript. And then it said, oh, please give me the transcript. Oh, for fuck's sake. Is this your life? This is what you hate. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's saying, please give me a... why does it not think it's got the transcript?
I got it. Once the function has returned, use the file's read function to read the transcript from the path you gave the YouTube fetch function. It didn't know to read it back in. It definitely called the fetch, but it didn't know to read it back in. So this is like, I'd imagine that this step that I'm doing here would be running in the browser for you, where it's the tests kicking off after you've twiddled the bot.
Yeah. And you get closer and closer.
Yeah.
Because there's some nuance. Active voice really works.
Right.
The user's will provide you is different a much more weak way of saying you will be provided by, for example.
It still came back and said, please give me the transcript. I need to tell it to read from the path that it just got.
Okay, have you told it what the right? Okay, so take me through this. So it's already fetched the path. It knows what the path is. So
It generated the path, and then it called the fetch function correctly. But then the function returns with just the description. So should I?
Yeah. So give it a process. Count this as pseudocode. It's like you will receive back X from X. You ought to do Y. Does it know what a transcript is?
That's a good point.
You said you will receive.
Oh, that's a great point. That's a great point. You butt. You. God damn it. There's a path for the YouTube fetch function to write the transcript to id.json. You will receive back a title and a description of the video.
But again, you will receive back a title and a description, but no transcript. It's like
Yeah.
Transcript, man.
Yeah. How about that?
You still haven't told her what the transcript is. So,
Okay, where would I do that?
Okay, so users will provide you with a transcript of a meeting. URL YouTube fetch the transcript from video. Okay. If you have to fetch the transcript from the YouTube, use the YouTube fetch function. You must choose path for the YouTube fetch function to write the transcript to. Still haven't said. So what do you get back from that YouTube fetch?
It's a text, a big long line of text that represents the transcribed version of the YouTube video.
So is it the actual transcription or some kind of pointer to the transcription?
Sorry.
So
I choose the path that I want to write the transcript to. I then call the fetch function with that path. The fetch function writes to that path, and then when I get back the video title, then I go read and get it in.
Okay. So,
I think what I've done wrong is that it's confusing it by what I return from that function. So why don't I just return transcript downloaded and then give it back the path, and then it will be like, oh, that's pretty fucking obvious what I do with that. Yep.
Sounds like it should work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This is frustrating and fun.
It is fun, isn't it? And yeah, it's a lot like training a dog. frustrating and fun.
Oh God, look, this is my mistake. At the top level description of the function, this is what I said.
Ah, I see.
I
He's trying his best.
know, it's like you don't
He's
make
really trying.
sense.
He's like, what do you mean? I really want to
What
please
do
you.
you mean?
I'm a little AI Spaniel is trying to get all this. Fetch, fetch, fetch. Yes, 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 yes. No, that's not right. It's like, huh? What do you start?
This will write the transcription JSON object to the given path and return the title and description of the YouTube video. Oh God, that's it, right?
Meta. Yeah, I think so. Except for the spelling of transcription, but there's one meta that realized is doing all this really, really requires a lot of the human to actually be clear in exactly what they're
yeah,
asking.
and so making a bot that could look at all that and then tell you and be like, it sort of seems like you did something
Exactly, and
conflicting.
that's why I built how 3 is like my thinking is too messy. You tell me what I've missed.
Yeah.
And a similar thing easily be built for this use case. But it's amazing how much you fuck up as a human.
I know.
One of my favorite ones, we're talking about mating, but one of my favorite ones is asking it, say, what was asked or implied but never answered? And you get this meeting that you've been in for an hour and everyone's going, yeah, we know exactly what we're doing. It's like, oh, you talked about this and nobody said anything about it.
Yeah.
Someone asked this, you never answered it. It's quite revealing how shit we are.
We are so shit. What's the funniest thing, though, is that we're so shit and unaware of it, and so we don't think we're shit, and you don't actually not like that whole time. I was just like, "Oh, this bot's fucking stupid. What's going on?" But actually,
it's never the bot.
my bad. It always does something reasonable. I think this is that's the humbling thing.
Exactly.
Okay,
It does exactly what you say, not what you meant. Oh, I'm gonna get that put on my tombstone, I think.
what's that? You're gonna get a
I
bot
was
to
trying
write?
to do exactly what you said, but not what you meant.
Okay, and now I'm gonna come back where I'm gonna return success is going to be a boolean, and then the path is going to be the path to the saved transcription file. Okay, and now I'm glad that you're seeing me struggle like this, because this is how my whole fucking day goes. This is my whole day. But only recently has it become a bot prompting issue as well, so that's sort of good that this is...
I'm glad we're finally mashing in the middle.
Yeah,
Because your syntax and layout there, I would be struggling with. But
well, as you can see, I'm struggling with the bot prompting, so that's good.
yeah.
Yes, it did it. This is the function call. It was like, it finally went files read, and then here's the path.
Be nice to the bots, and the bot will be nice to you.
Beest thou nicest to the bot. And then what did it say? And then it still said, please give me the transcript. It's in there.
Hold on, why? Which in the flow here, where does that AI long thread assistant agents meeting.md please give me the transcript appear? What was the thing that was provided immediately prior?
The tool call where it read the contents of this file.
Right. Does it know that that path means a transcript?
Well, it called the files read function. It called the files read function. Let me just dump what this file says.
Yeah.
And then that way we will know for sure. Because this is one of the things that I had to, I guess, hack. Is that I shortcut how some of the things work for reading, so that it goes straight into the thread without going through the artifact actions. It doesn't actually reply as an action. It just stuffs it straight in.
Okay.
And
well, the problem is looking at it and saying that's a path. Thank you for that path. Can you give me the transcript?
This was the transcript here.
Yeah. Okay.
And we've run out of buffer, so that's sort of annoying. And then I read the whole. This was the thread. It read the whole thread too. So the messages, analyze, blah blah blah. That was the prompt. Then the assistant said YouTube fetch, and then there's also this. I just want to point out this new parameter that's come in from OpenAI called refusal. That sometimes the bot will stop and it will refuse to do what you asked, and that's the flag they raise.
Yeah, I've seen that. I usually just say go on, and then I'll continue.
Okay, so it called the tool, it ran the tool returned, and then it said assistant tool call files read. So it tried to read the transcript. The transcript paths match exactly, so it did a good job there.
It's got the
and then the content came back, and it was like details, title, but then subs is a key. So it needs to maybe know that within that JSON file, it's got subs is the transcription. Subs is the transcription, I think, is the bit we're missing.
Yeah. Okay, right. So tell it, you recognize the transcript by the key subs.
Okay. Christ almighty. So a bot that helped with this would be able to point out what you're doing, right? It's like,
right. Yeah.
You know, like
exactly. It's like it's doing exactly what you're saying, but I'm saying it's doing it wrong. It's like you haven't told it what a transcript is, or the fact that subs is the transcript, because it's not obvious that transcript equals subs.
No. You know what I can do better? I'll just rename the fucking variable. How about that? How
about transcript? So,
this is now going to be called, therefore, trans fucking script. Here we go.
All right. Okay. I have
stick that in your buttons.
Like a warm feeling about this one, but we'll see.
I've lost the ability to have warm feeling. I think pretty early on in my coding career, I realized that if I had to pray, my code sucked. It still asks for give me the transcript.
Give me the transcript.
So I should.
Who's asking that? At what point? Why are you asking that? In the process. Transcript. You must call the read function to read the transcript from the path. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I want to mistype the first transcript. Although it's pretty good at mistyping, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens.
What are you doing? Oh god, bot programming. It would be so much easier if we had a bot to do this.
Oh, work on that, man. I really am working on that. HAL 3 is just like the start. Just the start. Okay, there you go.
Please give me the transcript.
Right, okay, so, wait a second. So, just above that, if you go back, just above the please give me the transcript, what was, so this is obviously a transcript.
This is all the this is the JSON object that came back.
Yeah. And
gosh, you do talk a lot.
the top, right, okay, so
that was a tool call. And the assistant had asked to read this file.
Yeah,
I gave it back this file. The content was bracket details, bracket description, close bracket, and then transcript.
Inside of the
which one? This one?
Quote marks. Yeah.
This one? Because the quote marks need to be escaped. Because
all right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Is it because it thinks transcript isn't? The interesting thing is that this is all there's no speaker identification, there's no timestamps, it's just one big long thread.
It might be thinking that transcript.
That it doesn't make sense to be a transcript.
Why not just dump the entire contents?
What?
Of it, and not call it a transcript. Oh well, transcript is fine.
Right.
But okay, so you got a tool call that's giving all of this text.
Yeah.
If you were to like simply copy and paste that into a Dumbo, it would work it out.
Right.
It's like, so what you're trying to do is strip out the transcript part and leave the details and title and that sort of thing.
Right, but I did sort of want that because it's like this is extra information about the thing.
Yeah, but that's fine.
You think it's confusing it? You just want me to return only this text? Yeah.
No. I say just return. Give it the entire contents.
What?
Under content. Just give it all of it.
That's what it got. But this content went back into the bot from this point on. Everything got that's now context straight back into the bot's thread.
Okay, but the prompt is saying get the transcript.
Yeah.
From that, where it's get the contents of the file.
I'm not with you. Sorry, I'm sorry.
If you go back to the prompt where it's like in the meeting bot. Okay, so let's see this. To access the transcript, you must.
Oh, look at that! Look at that example transcript format.
That's my old format, which just does not apply.
And then it's like, well, you didn't give me a transcript, so
right. Oh, good spot. Okay, well.
A bot would have got that, right? A bot would have got that easily.
An easy one is because giving an example is a nice thing, but it's not necessary. So strip it out and run it and see what happens.
Strip this whole thing.
Yep.
Mate, your cough sounds like mine.
Oh, I've been a bit ill.
Have you?
Yeah. Just a virus.
Don't fucking die.
It's either that or kill me, one of the two. Either way, I don't really care.
Other people do.
some iron brew here.
Man, this is painful and fun. Still didn't work.
Where did it fail? Did you strip out all the example from the meetings? So I've got the please give me the transcript.
Please give me the transcript. This one.
It's got a definition in its head. So what's happening here is it thinks it knows what a transcript is.
Okay.
And what we're providing is saying, that's not a transcript. You asked me for a transcript. Please give me the transcript. So there's something around the definitions. Now, examples are like proxy definitions. Is that I'm not going to define it. However, here's an example and work it out. So if there's anything still in the meeting bot that's an example, that might be throwing it off. The flip side of it is we could give it an example and say, here's what you're looking for. This is what we mean by a transcript. But this is a definitions problem, which is why I've been banging on about definitions. Example interactions. No, that's fine. That's not talking about transcripts. Summary question answered. Yep. Is anything further down? Expression gaps. It's fine.
Oh, that. Look at that.
Yes, there it is. There it is.
Ah. Ah, God. Oh, God. Okay.
Just trying.
This poor bot. This poor
just trying
bot.
to do it. He's just trying to do it.
It's so good, right? Like, it never ever does things that are unreasonable.
Yeah.
Like, even when my buddy got called a moron, he uses the word moron a lot, and he's also very sarcastic. So what he must have done is said, I love being called a moron. And then it got stored in memory. And then the bot came back and was like, enjoy your cocktail, moron.
And they're saying, don't call me a moron. And then it goes back into the dog.
Right, it was,
sorry,
I'm
master.
so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Okay, there you go, buddy. Here it is.
Right.
So we passed the test.
There you go.
The assistant mentioned developing comprehensive blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what was the output here? The output, I'll just grab all that and put it into something nice and easy on the eye.
Yep. Okay. That is exactly why our testing first thing is important, right?
And testing with variations as well, I might add.
Yeah, because that would have been, it was, half an hour of trying to figure out the fact that we'd actually told it to something that we didn't want to tell it.
Yeah, that's my bad, because I just lazily copied and pasted all your stuff.
Nah, but people are going to do that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a reasonable thing to want to do. I just want to get going.
It's like, can I use that bot over here? Like,
the video titled outline.
There you go. That seems pretty reasonable. And in the running thread, can you ask it questions or?
No, because it just ran the test.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough. But that seems a reasonable first chance. So in a single shot meeting bot, what then do is ask it questions like, was anything discussed that wasn't answered? Was there any fallacies, any ambiguities? Were we using the definitions in the right way? So you can get quite a lot of nuance. Once you've got the transcript, you can interrogate that transcript like a live meeting, which
Right.
is
So what you're
really,
asking for
really nice.
there is the ability to run a test, go through all the different variations that happen, and then jump in to a thread and carry on
Right, but
talking, right?
see, even in this setup with the test you've got, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know how quick you could do this, but if you can add another test in, the very next thing saying, well, let's go with that. Was there anything discussed or asked that wasn't fully answered? Let's say, because it's
Yeah, I can do
taking
that
that
for you.
transcript and it's giving you here's the main points, but then it's like let's drill down.
So what do you want to do, buddy? Tell me.
Having brought in that transcript
Yeah.
and it's produced the initial summary, which we just looked at,
Yeah.
the next thing would be to give it a prompt that would be, yeah, give me a list of all the questions that weren't fully answered, any ambiguities, and any definitions which appear to talk about the same thing but used different words to describe them. Let's see.
I forgot the rest, sorry.
Give me a list of any questions that were asked but not answered, any ambiguities, any logical fallacies, and any time where a similar topic was talked about but which a different definition appeared to be used. So basically, where did we get it wrong? Oh, there's all sorts of ways
Like
you
that?
can go into. Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
would do. Let's see.
I don't have the testing framework in place to actually do the continuation of the next test case yet because I've only been running a single test case in these scenarios. So that's why I have to pack it into the original prompt as one
Yeah, okay.
prompt here. So
Yeah,
that's the reason for the shortcoming. I'll
that's cool.
fix it soon.
Yeah.
But this is pretty cool, right? Like, I mean,
It's really fucking cool.
it's like testing,
Because when I go into meeting bot, I use it a lot. I'm
right?
asking the same questions.
Right. And so the point of this was that if I can get this test going, oh, what the fluff? What?
What are you saying?
Um, error.
Test password and test.md. It's not changed.
It called the function wrong.
I know, probably called the function right, but for some reason it didn't work.
Sorry, it called the functions different.
Hey,
Test pass must
that's an
end.
isolate. You're calling an isolate.
Where did that error come from? Test path must end with get TPS in the test case runner. Test case runner. So I'll just add an extra error in here.
Well, it seems to be doing the right thing, but
That could be something I haven't seen before, but I've been dreading, is that the bot, with a slight change to a prompt, it starts calling the functions differently with different parameters.
I need to lock that down. Why is it doing that? I shouldn't.
So it's either I've coded something wrong, but I didn't change anything from the last successful run. I just added to the prompt.
Yeah, well, that's bot world for you, because it does.
So it tried to call tool call. It tried to call the meetings agent, not the meetings test file. So that's the issue there.
Okay.
So that I'll take you to the prompt that's doing that.
Yeah, this is we're into pistol whipping territory here.
Yep.
Having said, be nice to your bots. You got to pistol whip them.
This is extremely helpful for me, by the way, because it
it's quite fun as well. I could do this all day.
You can see where I struggle, and you see what the process is.
Yeah.
So I need to go into fixtures, and I think I need to wipe this out. Test file runner test. No. Okay. No, ignore that. So this is the agent that's running.
Okay. Yep. And it is looking for test.md.
And it needs to. It got told what to run because let me show you what it got told to do.
Okay.
So this file that I just showed you got called with this single argument. This is the text that went into it.
All right.
And
it's wrong with there.
It's been prompted to. You will be given a file name. Read this and then run the test within it. But it read something completely different. Like it read.
Okay. So there's two possible paths here. Well, there's probably more, but so inside of meetings test.md,
Yeah.
have you told the previous bot what a test is? Here's an example of what the test format is.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it knows what a test format is. And when you say read this test, I read the file, it's like, that's a test. Happy. Okay.
And it got this bit correct.
Yep. Agent says that. Okay. Test path.
And then add case, it got that correct too.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said this place was where it made a mistake. Test case runner underscore test.
Which didn't have the test.
So,
MD.
And it called path with the agent, not the test file. So let me go and check my definition in the function.
Yeah. Who called that test file runner? Right.
Test case runner. Some fucking bullshit that I left.
I love this shit. I really do love this shit.
The path to the test file being run.
Why are you constraining the naming of the file? Why not just say, here's a test file, and then it knows, you could call it jubjub.txt.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
it's
Like
a
if
good
it was a test
idea
file.
to, well, for example, if I didn't do that, then this error wouldn't have occurred. This is actually wrong. Like it tried to call the test runner with the path to the agent file instead of the path to the test file.
Well, no, that would still be an error, but
Right?
you're constraining it to the file name,
Yeah.
whereas you could call it, jupyter.txt, so long as it's actually a text. A test. What does it care? You call it anything you want. Test.md is something you just created. Doesn't actually add anything semantically. Syntactically, sure, it's easier for us, but why constrain it to that pattern? Why not point it to an email that includes a test?
Um.
You see what I'm saying? I'm probably not explaining it right, but the more constraints that are unnecessary for the bot, the more it's going to get weird. So what it's looking for is a test file. Now, you've told it the format of a test file. You can recognize a test file because of this format. If I were to take a written piece of paper that was properly formatted as a test, sent it
Yep.
an image, you should still run that test. It doesn't really care what the test is.
Yeah, yeah, but my angle for doing that was that I want to be able to have multiple test files all across the file system and be able to identify them very rapidly without anything sophisticated. So, like if I'm not going to read every single file in the file system because that's too big, but if I introduce a convention that it's just everything ending in .test.md, then I can do a very quick sweep and then fire them all up. That was
Which is
why
fair
I was
enough.
that's why I was doing
That's
that.
fair enough. But that's a kind of indexing search piece, which maybe you want to read every file, maybe you just want to read the file names and so on. But when you feed it in, all it needs to know is what's the format of is this a test? It doesn't need to know that you've named it right. So say if someone was
Yeah, but the agent, that error of saying that the file name was incorrect, that was on artifact side. That was not on bot side.
oh, I see. I see. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here's our next thing. So that prompt ran. The way I fixed that was I modified the function definition of what path was to be very explicit that it was the test file. I
Yeah.
I can understand how the bot got a little confused there. It was not clear. I like to imagine that a bot you will make us in the future will cover that.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
all I did was I said I changed this,
Tends to be run. Yes.
and
Yeah.
I gave it a regex as well, and said the function parameters must end in .test.md, and so that
Right.
gave
Okay.
it some
So
extra impetus.
yeah. So artifact knows, as you're saying on the search, it's not test.md. It's not a test.
Yeah.
You give it over to the bot. The bot doesn't care what it's called, but what does care about the format. Is this actually a test?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Here we go. Here is the output.
Right. Bots. Yeah.
I don't know.
Good
I
bot.
don't know what
Good
happened
bot.
there.
Good bot.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
What did happen there?
That is not something to. It passed the test, right? Um, okay, so it's added a fourth one, which is probably a whole bunch of ums and ahs.
Oh no, it was fine. That was an error in my bot, the GitHub Copilot that didn't do what I'd asked.
Wow. So you've got an input
Oh no,
there,
look,
right?
it just there. I see what it's done. Okay,
Uh,
put in a little bit of a
oh, there's four. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
right. It added in some white space. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, we all cool. We all cool.
I'm so looking forward to when we're actually just talking about water because that really just comes down to how sharp your mind is,
I know.
and nothing else. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful world to inhabit.
It's coming, buddy. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay. So is this the new or the previous?
This is the new one.
Okay. So it's missed the. It's not done the thing. Next steps. Right.
Oh
Okay.
God, you're right. It hasn't.
Yeah.
What the fluff? Next steps, unanswered questions, ambiguities, logical fallacies, and discrepancies in definitions.
Mm-hmm.
Did I not copy that right?
Based on the transcript meeting here, we'll go up a bit.
I'll take that whole text over for you, and then you can have it in something a little more easier to digest. There you go.
What we asking it? Based on the transcript meetings, here's detailed analysis of the highlights and the next steps, unanswered questions, ambiguities, and logical fallacies. Next steps.
Unanswered questions. Oh, so this is actually not. Oh, I'm sorry. I appear to have really fucked up.
Yeah, you're getting prompt and output mashed.
I copied the wrong thing. That's what I did. Sorry, my bad.
There you go. There you go. Good pot. Good pot.
Good bot, good bot. Okay.
Yeah, biscuit.
You'll need a big ass biscuit. There we go.
Right.
Okay. Hey!
Whoa, right.
Will users most desire in the state board? So someone asked that and then someone didn't.
That wasn't answered. This is the thing. I think. Well, let's keep going with this because this is awesome. But having delineated who the two speakers are or the multiple speakers are,
Yeah.
can be really useful. But the other really useful thing is to put a timestamp in, because if you go back,
I can get timestamps out.
You can. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really great. Because
Do you
the
want
next thing I would ask is, right, where's that thing you just highlighted? That's not what you're, is it? You should. No. In the output, it was an unanswered question.
What one? Specific features or functions?
Right. Okay. So the next thing, typically, what I would do is take me to the point in the transcript where that question was asked. Consider only that topic and give me a summary of what I said. So there's a couple of things it needs. It needs to know who I am, and it needs to know the timing. And what that does.
Yep, I got you, buddy. I can do that for you, but you're going to need to help me with some botting. The reason I was doing all this is because I was going to get this test passing just enough to know that it sort of worked sometimes, and then I was going to publish it so that you can have it in long thread and you could then
oh man, that'd be awesome.
That's what I was trying to.
We're not going through it, but yeah, I've got I pulled out a complete list. I had to do it manually, but it only took half an hour of the URLs for all our videos over the last 6 months.
Right. So that's what I was leading up to. I was like, well, we can get these bots going to just haul that stuff in, and then you can sit there asking top level questions like, okay, go through every video and find every unanswered question, list it in chronological audio, deduplicate it between all the videos, give me the links to all of the most important ones. That's right. That's what you want. That's what you want, right?
There's a whole bunch of really rich stuff I'm really keen to do. Things like if we're talking about something similar and we've changed the definition, give me a summary of the reasoning why we made that decision.
Right. Okay.
There's some really rich stuff there.
All right. So just give me just half a sec, and I'll figure something out.
Yeah. Oh, it's really odd to listen to your own voice on. I'll ping this over. Well, this is like a. See, so.
What are you sending me? What are you doing?
No, it's just.
Okay.
I can do it afterwards.
Yeah.
What it is saying over the last 6 months, what are all the URLs to all our conversations in chronological order with timestamps?
Yeah.
I can deal with it on this side.
Yeah.
If you can deal with it on that side.
Yeah.
That's an easy thing. That's fine because it's formatted as well. Well, it's roughly well formatted. An interesting thing would be the list of tests for each of our conversations would be what would be a fail on one of our conversations if we never came to a conclusion, if there are too many unanswered questions, if we are just talking bollocks. There's some kind of fail parameters there, which would be interesting. Unit testing a meeting or a recording. Oh, that'll be all. God, okay, I've got an idea. Let me write that down. Where's my pen? Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, that would be good. I think I've got the next version of MeetingBot coming. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it. What's this? It's like a magic number. What's that about? Usually hours, minutes, seconds. I found if you put HH colon MM colon SS, it works it.
Okay, cool.
You probably want to say we'll generate the link with time in hours, minutes, and seconds, as opposed to in minutes and seconds, because that's ambiguous. Like, what do I do with minutes and seconds?
Sorry, buddy. I'll get there. I'm just
Yeah, no.
change or whatever. Why not make the top? Shut up.
Yeah, I'm trying not to backseat drive, but
It's hard to watch, is it?
I'll let you finish your thought, and then I'll suggest a couple things. Okay, right.
Hold on. No. Wait. My clipboard is full. My clipboard is loaded.
Okay.
Just let me just. Okay, and now what do I do?
Right. Do you have an example of the timestamp?
Yeah.
Instead of saying 953, put in
Like
from a real thing. Yeah, just a random timestamp from YouTube.
okay. Let me run this while I go figure out the rest of that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
No, here it is. Here it is. Here. This is the format. Here.
Start duration. What's that? Is that in seconds?
Yeah, duration in seconds, and then the text.
All right. Okay. So when you say that start is, there may be several relevant responses. For example, for each response, give if possible, generate, remove if possible. Just tell it to do it. Generate a YouTube link to the time that's most relevant for that response. There may be several responses. An example. So where you got for example.
Yep.
An example of a relevant timestamp is. Yep.
So active versus passive voice, right?
Exactly. Yep. You go down. Get rid of the started it. Which. Yeah. Good. Yep. It's like this means it was 950 seconds from the start, and the duration of that utterance.
Yep. Utterance.
Of that section, utterance was 5.959. You are to translate that into HHMMSS, where the start is 000000. Can you? Sorry. Let me do that bit. Change. This means in this to in this example. It was. Yep. It was started. From the start, and the duration of speech was blah. Yes. Okay. You are to translate that into HHMMSS, where the start is 000000.
Oh, that's a good one. That sounds like you learned that the hard way.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You've not been bleeding alone, mate.
Okie dokie.
Why are you giving that a link at the end?
Because this is how to form the links that give the links to so that you can click on it, and then it takes you to that period in the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you mean to say that that's what it is. An example in this case would result in a link such as this. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can get rid of the HSMMSS. Yep. And yeah.
Why?
It. Because you've already told it what HMMSS is.
Yeah, but this is the format of the link.
Oh, I see. Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. That should work. Yep. Okay.
Boom, boom, chicka, boom, 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 boom. Burn tokens, burn.
Someone's getting rich. Someone else is going to jail. What's that song? Someone's going to A&E. Someone's going to jail. What's the song?
Sin, lies, drugs, and money. It might be generating a lot of links.
Well, you can offload that because so long as it's well formatted in the HSMMSS, then you can do the navigator, prompt it saying, if I say go to, 10 minutes in 30 seconds, you don't need a link. You don't need to click. You should be able to just talk to it.
This has been running for too long. I don't like it.
Yeah, stop it. Yeah.
It's probably burned a lot of tokens.
Yeah.
So I'll wait. Yeah.
Take out the link.
The link or the whole thing?
No. What we want to do is to get the timestamps into its understanding.
Can we just check that? Oh wait, I left that in there by mistake. My bad. Not that should have made a difference.
I'm not sure that would have made much difference. It would just confused it.
Can I try it? Because this is the first time I've returned the timestamps, so we don't actually know if it works with the new timestamp return format. So can I just try it without the request for the YouTube link and just make sure it still works, even though the
yeah. Because this is actually easy. This is like post formatting, because if we assume that YouTube format is consistent, we can transform it to whatever we want.
Yeah. So it also dawned on me too that what we want is to do a presentation pass, and I have spoken to about this before, but we should get the agents to be correct and then display the correct result to the user while at the same time tripping off a presentation layer or transform that transforms it into something based on the user's preferences or the company's preferences or something like that, so that nice. And then when it comes in, it just replaces what was on the screen, so it doesn't feel like it's taking too long.
That'd be nice. I mean, that's not core, but also, the Yanks always get their date timestamps wrong. They mix up days and months for some reason.
What? This model's context length is 128,000 tokens. However, your messages resulted in...
What? No.
I used too many tokens.
What have you maxed out the tokens at?
Well,
and also, that doesn't make sense. It's like
I thought this is 4.0 mini.
Oh, scroll to the right. Resulted in two.
It wraps around to there. 267629 tokens.
Oh, I see. All right. Really?
How? How? Why so many?
What's the size of the input? What's the if you look at the raw dump from the transcript?
It was big. I can dump that to disk. I can put that out in the logs.
Okay, well, we assume it's like big. That's fine. So 128,000 is quite a small number of tokens in the grand scheme of things.
128K. I thought the window size. No, that is the context window size, isn't it?
Well, let me double check.
Okay.
So, to be honest, I always just like put it up to max. Yeah, okay, fair one. Yeah, I think it's a mini.
For a mini.
Yeah.
What's the restriction?
Well, I'm just on platform.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot less than.
What is the number?
Give me a sec. It is 16383 max tokes.
No, that's not. That's not the answer. Yeah, that's a limitation of the web UI. Let me look this up in the docs for the models.
Well, if I were to switch that to
models 4.0 mini context window 128K. Okay, so we busted through that. They're all 128K. I don't know why I thought they were bigger.
I've not had a tokens problem in ages, weeks.
Well, I'll dump the file of the disk, the file size for you.
Yeah. Have they changed that?
No, I thought it was bigger, but maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it was bigger as well. So we're either both wrong or they've changed it.
Okay, here we go. Whoa. Slow down, buddy. Slow down. Well, I ran out of my buffer now, so...
We could strip out duration. Duration doesn't add anything.
You want to strip duration? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to do it. That would reduce it by roughly 1/5.
So we had start...
we talked about duration, didn't we? Yeah.
DUR. So I keep start and DUR and text.
Yeah, because it's going to...
It's not going to say much.
No, it's not. Well, we can try it anyway, see. But that's a hard limit, which is a buggeration because sometimes we do bang on for many hours.
Okay, I'm going to return. How would we... We would need to chunk it in this case, right?
Yeah, but who wants to chunk it?
Who wants to chunk indeed, buddy?
Yeah, because we could chunk it and then next week they go, oh, it's 1 million tokens. I could have sworn it was more. Anyway, just well, for this example, probably just choose a shorter video. Doesn't matter who the video is, just choose one random, like, 10-minute video as a URL. does seem like it's eating too much, though.
Yeah. It's good for you to see the pain I have to go through. Like, it's real fiddly to make this whole thing work together.
It's good for me to actually feel your pain. Like, that is literally more pain on my side. It's like, oh, thanks for that, man. I'd much rather think that, you have no pain and therefore I feel good about myself.
Oh, and now you're like, actually...
Yeah, that whole empathy thing, that generates a lot of tokens, the whole empathy thing.
So the size in bytes was 178,000 bytes.
Right.
Which means that it should not have busted the tokens like it was.
Not even close, no. Is this run still busting the tokens?
This run hasn't made it there yet. There might be some errors in the API.
Oh, yeah, and the API is, well, not completely to be trusted.
It's flaky as hell, man. Like,
yeah, but, innovation, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we get major outage, 35 minutes. Oh, dear.
Yeah. Elevated errors impacting logins.
It's
for 35 minutes. Oh, dear.
It's nice to know that the ChatGPT and the API seem to be, like, it sounds like ChatGPT is using the API.
Yeah,
you know?
Right, actually.
So there's some extra stuff. But more or less, they're the same.
You got to take your hat off to, any company that puts up their outages in a bar chart like that. It's like,
Everyone does these days. Like, we're going to do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, does everyone do that now? I didn't do that back in the day.
Well, no one did back in the day.
Yeah,
I know.
Instant report. As far as we can see,
Okay, so it worked.
35 seconds.
It worked, but I think something else is going on. Like, I do believe that was a API error, because
could be.
the size of the file, just isn't enough. And then what were we going to do? Meetings. We don't have duration anymore.
Yeah, get rid of that. Because that's data that we can actually infer between timestamps. I'm not sure why they put in duration. It's strange that they chose to put that in.
Because the next timestamp start may be significantly later than the end of the previous timestamp plus duration. Because if you say something and then go quiet for 2 minutes, without duration, you don't know that was 5 minutes of text. You don't know where to clip your video if you want to snip the end.
I suppose. I'd choose a different way of doing that, but yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
Okay, here we go.
It's going to work this time. It's going to work.
Is it?
Quick, get out and go and sacrifice it.
I got a mouse.
Well, I've got a printer to sacrifice later on today, which I'm going to enjoy.
Oh, you know what? I think it's I know why the tokens were big. Because I didn't minify the JSON. I was pretty printing it with like a new line and a tab and all that. It wasn't just.
That's going to double the size.
Well,
actually, slightly more.
Yeah. Why is this taking so long? It shouldn't be so slow. It's generating a lot of stuff.
It could be that it's just a bit shit right now. It could be that we're in infinite loop and you're about to be charged $127. I was so glad when that was your problem, your mistake, not mine, because I was going, shit, what have I done? I was convinced it was me because I was kicking off.
Unknown parameter, parallel tool calls. That's an error on their side, man.
Right, okay.
That's absolutely a legit parameter that we have been calling for the past fucking all these tests that you saw run here. That's their problem.
What time is where's their where are we calling for this instantiation of the API? Are we in East Coast, West Coast?
I don't know. It's calling the one that is closest to me in New Zealand. But
so it'll be West Coast probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But normally we would hit US East when it runs on the deploy platform because we are co-located with OpenAI pretty much. So that's why it all goes super quick.
All right. So you're saying that number one, okay, this is all I have no evidence for, but suspicious that it's a Saturday and it's early morning on the East Coast right now. Sounds like they're pushing something.
Yeah.
And we just keep it running while they're pushing, which is bold. Might be something to that. As,
it's not generating the links, buddy.
Oh, no, it's not, is it? Why? Did you expressly say it? Go back to the prompt. After each response, right, the total responses. Okay, user translate. Yeah, okay.
It feels like this is the wrong place to put it. Because this is like how it's expecting to be used, but we've tried to tell it. You know, and none of our examples include these YouTube links.
I think we've probably like bottomed this one out. What would be great is
I think I need to put a link example in the response, right? Right?
Yes, possibly. Go example interactions. Do you have? I think Meeting Bot's got an example output, doesn't it? Maybe it doesn't actually. No, it doesn't.
Summary. So action items. The following items in the were identified, and I will say.
We've not told it the format to output in. So if you go right down to the bottom, you do something like hash output UR to output in the following format, and then.
What are these 3 lines for? Can I kill these?
Yeah, they're probably residual, unless they're... No. The 3 lines are just to say that's not part of the prompt, but consider
examples?
No examples. Output. So you are to output in the following format. Colon. Okay, so HHMMSS. No, can't. No.
Why don't I just because not all of these things can have these links, right?
Right, because what we're asking it for is a summary, and the summary by definition involves the entire transcript, so there's no timestamp for that.
Okay, so logical fallacies we can definitely give one.
With the how do you say that? With the start of where this was first discussed. This was first discussed. Let's see this. Yeah. We're being bad to the bot again. Because we're saying give us a summary, and then we're saying give us timestamps. Summary inherently is not something you can have a timestamp with.
Yeah.
But if you give it where you've got to do it the first time, maybe it can get its head around that. It's about 11 p.m. your time. What's your availability?
Oh man, yeah, I'm good, but man, the time does roll on.
This is good stuff, though. This is where.
Was there anything else I wanted to cover here? Yeah, that's right. Let me just, if we just park this for now, the reason why this became a problem is because what's happening here? Yeah, yep. There's some links.
Timestamps.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So it's trivial then to mess around with the format, whether it's a link or just seconds, or it's not picked up HSMMSS. Fine. We can. That's
fine. That's fine. I don't mind that. Yeah. This poor bot. This poor thing. I ideally just want to see this so bad. No, that's good though.
It's yeah, but no, that's not good.
Why not?
Because it's got two different formats of timestamp there.
It shows up as the selection here because I want to talk about.
Well, let's see if it's right.
So, and if the change. Okay, let me just figure out what was the thing that it was talking about. An appeal to authority was present when discussing whether the design decisions should follow the opinions of established experts without critical examination of those opinions.
Good bot. Oh, and there's a fully formed thing.
There is a potential hasty generalization when asserting that because some designs worked well in general, they must work well in every situation discussed. A hasty generalization.
That's a logical fallacy. Because it's right up there.
Part of the selection lozenges is the ability to select within the thread. So, like, I should be able to select that message, and it shows up as the selection here because I want to talk about that message, right? So, and if the changing of the state board appears as
it's got it wrong there.
Another tool call that
we can nuance that,
especially, and be like, this was a state board.
It's picked up that logical fallacy because you said I should be able to as an assertion, which is a logical fallacy, but it was an example.
Hit it, then it will show.
I can deal with these nuances. That's fine.
Over the message screen and show.
However, it did pick up the right timestamp.
Yeah, because that's rollback as well, right? That's rollback and toggle in one device, one mechanism. That's cool, right? Okay, and then so when the bot says, I am now changing the state board, I will automatically. I'm not sure it's wrong.
You don't think it? I think it picked up. You said I should be able to.
No, it picked up the hasty generalization because it's I.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the appeal to authority.
No, I can watch the appeal to authority one. I think it got that right because it was saying that I just tried to collapse a bunch of solutions to be the same solution, and it called me out for saying it was a hasty generalization. Because that's what I was trying to do, was generalize it down so I had less work. That's a valid call out.
That's nice.
Okay, so
sorry,
the
I thought
next
we were
one,
on the appeal to authority. Yeah, let's go for that one.
appeal to authority was present when discussing established experts without critical examination of those opinions. Okay. And give you
Solve your rollback.
yeah, because that's rollback as well, and toggle in one device, one mechanism. That's cool, right? Okay, and then so when the bot says I am now changing the state board, it hasn't put the time in there.
Doesn't it? 8543. What's the next one? Seems to.
The state board and give you.
That would solve your rollback thing.
So that's that one. That would solve your rollback thing.
8543.
The state board and give you.
No, it's coming out 15 minutes.
Your rollback thing. The timestamp's not working. What have I done wrong? I think I might have given it the wrong
format. Yeah.
Yeah. See.
It looks like the right format. You like copy and paste it, maybe.
Yeah, I know. So that worked. 542S. Yeah. I know. It didn't like the milliseconds.
We didn't tell about milliseconds.
I just wonder if it.
Edges MMSS. We didn't tell about.
It's because I was like, point, and I'll bet that messes up.
Yeah, that could be one.
Right. That's what the issue was. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, let's You still want to watch these? You okay for time?
I'm actually fascinated. I've got as much time as you've got, man.
Okay.
You're getting late, and I'm getting
8543.
I don't have anything for a wee while.
Okay, cool. 8543. We need these nuggets, and then I'll make us a little widget, because that widget will be easy. I'm making widgets right now anyway.
When you turn up to learn about the Dreamcatcher, you're actually using Dreamcatcher.
It's running Dreamcatcher. It is talking to you with GPT 4.0, possibly Mini, because if we want to be tight asses, and it's like...
Mini's awesome.
I know. It is epic, right? And it seems about as smart. That's the weird thing. Yeah. So, and then that's it. So don't worry about DocuSource at all. What you need to worry about is the structure that you want inside the way you just described, and then you tell me what to make for the state board widgets. I think it's very simple. It's just like what we had on the website, sort of, and then I'll put in the button bot, and then you can.
It's finished, isn't it? No more navigating through background. I wonder if it's picking up DocuSource as an expert. Don't worry about DocuSource.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I really need to go now. It's interesting, though, isn't it?
This is so interesting.
For me. Thank you. Yeah, and here too as well.
So 541. This was the other error, which was potentially hasty generalization. Yeah.
Put the volume up a bit.
Right. If you attach more than 3 things, what are you doing, I guess, is the question. So I could make the toggle button just toggle over the stack of things, or I could make the stack of things go scrollable or something, or I can just not worry about it, and we'll figure it out.
To be honest, what I'd do is I'll stick them on horizontal. It will drop a scroll for all of them anyway, but I don't think for what we're doing, it's not going to be an issue, and we can get it.
Okay. Sorry.
Vertical feels wrong because that's valuable real estate, but most of it will be white space because you just got lozenges.
But the lozenges are long though, like they're probably about that long because they contain things like file paths.
We are going to use email to summarize using more than 8 characters. That's what I mean.
Yep, fair. Okay, all right. So you want it to go? Yeah, okay, fine. Horizontal. It is, and then we'll just
deal with that. And the toggle, I can't think of a better way. Like, if you're constrained for space,
I think it's right.
That was
I think it's right.
between the two of us, that was a sketchy time because I was like,
Yeah.
what you're
like,
asking for doesn't fit the UI guidelines, but I don't think it's worthwhile arguing about it. So,
Right.
I was kind of like, whatever. And you were like, oh, it should be horizontal. And then, but neither of us really know.
Exactly. And so we just like, yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, look,
Uh,
I think that proves some. Obviously,
can
there's some
I,
whipping, but yeah.
can I, yeah, is there any unanswered questions? What would happen if a bot calls? I'm just fascinated. I know the
Okay,
timestamp.
timestamp 852.
Yeah, we can work that out in terms of formatting. But
it to happen, if the bot calls show stateboard, would you expect that to flick the toggle, or would you expect to simply be told that I can hit the toggle?
as in, I think it's similar to backchat, isn't it? It's I don't want to have show.
You didn't answer, did you? You were just like,
Answer. I fucking answered a different question
you
entirely.
just went off and.
Fucking hell, that's embarrassing.
So, what's your answer to X? Well, given Y,
Oh, that is pretty damn good for a zero shot, isn't it?
ambiguities, timestamp 378. This is hilarious, dude.
Please, not me again. Come on.
We should score these.
Yeah.
A laptop and a phone, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it seems reasonable for that. The only problem with switching, where you remove the.
So the issue there was ambiguity. The discussion of what constitutes a big computer versus a small device is unclear. Oh, because you asked, like, what's the difference between big and small? And I was like, laptop versus a phone. But I suppose that there's some phones that are massive and some laptops that are tiny.
Well, the thing is, and none of these are test fails, right? And it's like it's almost like after a meeting we should have like the follow up where we go through with the bot.
Yeah, but right. But it would be better.
That's fine. Ignore that. But
Yeah, something that's a little bit passive aggressive that I would look forwards to doing is tweaking the bot with my own personal pet peeves that occur in a meeting, and so it would like generate,
cool.
like, and if I could like get the like not answering a question that I asked, I find that incredibly annoying. I never notice you doing that, so that's interesting that the bot caught you there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm cued into that because sometimes you go like, no, right, okay, basically, park that, whatever.
Yeah,
but that's what I asked.
Yeah,
which is really.
This is so much just
crazy interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you had that system running, I would imagine you would make a bot that was like the registrar of the judges that it orchestrated the judges. And so that system, the thing I've been toying with is that these widgets can be nested. And so you would make a widget that was the orchestrator widget that could be assembled with 3 different judges that were split by tabs, for example. And so you could get the 3 judges to output their results, and then you could see them all just by hitting on the tab in the widget. Now, you could read the data raw because the data is all in files, but the thing that widgets lets you do is sort of slurp.
That seemed clear to me. I think it might have. I think because we covered several different ways to represent the judges' opinions, and it's like, well, which one is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is fine because the way I'm looking at these things and the way I've been using them as advisories, because you can scan down.
Yeah. They're not all.
It's really useful. It's really useful dropping into the video.
I know, right?
Really useful.
It's like a rollback thing. Yeah, because that's rollback as well, right? That's rollback and toggle in one device, one mechanism.
Oh no, we covered that one. Sorry, we covered that one.
Yeah. But damn, this could be really painfully useful.
Feedback and instructions.
unclear boundaries on how user input would be directly impact the UI adjustment. Oh, okay. All right. Let's have a look. Because ideally, remember the ideal is you've got your phone with the skateboard up all the time, and all you're doing is talking at it. You don't actually type it in your mind.
Right. So this is how it would look on a mobile. And so you sort of want to, your stack of lozenges for interactions would be rising up here, but then you'd always have this toggle button over here that could flick out this area for the skateboard view and back again. So you could
sticking it like top right or something like that, because
the skateboard or the toggle.
The toggle.
Well, I tried to make all the interactivity of the system is this little area. That's where everything happens. Putting something
used to doing metas in corners left and right. I want to know more on search.
That's true.
If I was not meta, it seemed to me if it was always in the top right, I could always get to it and always know about it.
Right. But then we've blocked whatever was up in the top right, which is unknown. Whereas here you haven't really blocked anything. You can always assure that there's clear space there.
What was the comment that how came up with, or what came up with? Discussing ways that seem different with unclear boundaries.
Yep. Right. So now,
just get if you can move it around. Use it, and you didn't actually come to confusion.
Yeah. No, it's more about the fact that we have dreamed about the skateboard and mentioned it many times, but when it comes to the actual utility of it, it can sort of hit a bit of a lump. So anyway,
we're just skirting over that. We're skirting over it. It's like we can't figure it out.
Yeah, it was a very vague thing. Okay, well, that is fascinating, and for a first pass that we haggled together and
good,
and without a bot that could have saved us much of that round and round, detecting conflicting instructions in a bot. That should have been a tool that helped us for it. Okay, so you cool if I move on to my problem?
I'd just like to bask in the beauty of bots.
The warmth of...
Think about how would you do that in terms of hiring someone who's going to sit down and do what? That's into a complete transcript and then figure out all the ambiguities and then hand it over to you
and make some links. Yeah, but that was pretty good. So I mean, like those links, I mean, they're clickable and they'll be clickable in the message list. But ideally, I'd also be able to show them in the stateboard, so you'd have them all sort of, just stacked up with all the videos, and then you just.
That should be straightforward enough. I mean, we're not breaking anything that we've been talking about.
No,
I think.
No.
And the
that's pretty cool though.
On the prompting, for example, if there is an unanswered question, say if we talked about one thing, went down a rabbit hole, came back to talk to the same thing, what I'd want to know is multiple areas, but we've just said the start time.
Yeah.
But that's just prompting.
So that's really cool. And so what I think would be fun to make is taking something like... So Seed Studio here allows you to purchase basically the hardware components that you need to make some really cool stuff. So if I go to... No, more than that. So if I go to... Respeaker. Here we go. So you can buy things like this little case, and this is like a 6 mic array, and it fits in that little case, and it's got a little Raspberry Pi in it. And so what we could do is have that sitting there on our desk when we talk with people, and it do the transcription and feed it into how...
I was about to talk about... I didn't know about these guys, but yeah.
Live.
Doing it live.
Yeah. But also it would have... So what this thing can also do is these LEDs, it does what's called speaker direction.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the acronym for it, but it does speaker direction, which means that you can know the LEDs light up based on which direction the voice is coming from.
Okay.
And so you can use that
They're like
to,
Alexa.
yeah, but you can use that to split the audio streams so that you've got speaker identification nice and clear. Yeah, so basically you and I could sit in a room, we put this device down, and then we start chatting. It splits our streams off, has our individual howls populated with what we said, and then we are now effectively having a text meeting as far as howl is concerned, and it's busy running these analyses on the side.
Wouldn't it be cool if it's running the transcript, every X seconds and saying, "Hey, you guys you're getting somewhere, and you were talking about this, but then you just dropped the subject."
Yeah, and then being able to see these things pop up on the dashboard while we're talking, I think, would help us to not miss anything, because you don't know what you missed because it's dropped out of your memory. But if a machine was there being like, hey, this thing, that thing. So these are pretty fun things to toy with. I don't think they'd be very hard to make, and it's really just hooking up
they're just Raspberry Pis, aren't they? So
Yeah.
you just like flash them with a...
Yeah, and then just pipe it up to howl. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's sort of where the next time we meet in person, we should have these tools.
I think it'd be so cool.
When
we have an alarm going, Max, are you talking bollocks?
and then like 3 strikes, you're out. Like if you talk shit for more than 3 fallacies, then it's like meeting is over.
That's right.
Okay, so the whole issue that I was bringing that up for, which is still blowing my mind that all worked and we were able to twiddle that together so quick, and this was the test file for it that was plain text. That's pretty fun. The reason I wanted to bring all that up, back to my drawing here, is that, so say I'm in now this whole thread is going to be in HAL, okay? And I'm going to use the colors to represent which agents got switched out by the switchboard.
Right, okay. So this is the model of one laptop, the one laptop model.
Yeah. You're in a specific office, and this is how the agents are being moved in and out of the room for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like, chat, and then in that example, you go, I want to analyze this YouTube meeting. Duh. Okay. So then Switchboard ought to kick in and say, oh, you want the meeting bot. And then it switches over to meeting bot. Meeting bot looks at the request and says, that's a YouTube transcript. And so, different to how I presented it to you, because I forced meeting bot to be an expert in YouTube videos. And a lot of our dicking around was trying to get it to pull in YouTube transcripts.
It can be generalized.
Right.
That's not difficult.
But to expand that further, it might be pulling in from some other source. Like maybe I'm like, I want to upload an audio file. Okay, I want to, there's a whole bunch of other things that you might want to do. And so to modularize MeetingBot, it should know about another agent called YouTube Transcriber.
Yeah. And
YouTube Transcriber, so Switchboard toggled over to YouTube Bot. YouTube Bot of its own accord said, oh, this is a job for how Switchboard called MeetingBot. MeetingBot said this is a job for YouTube Bot. And it of its own accord caused YouTube Bot to take its place in the thread. And now this is important because YouTube Bot starts, YouTube Bot goes about its sort of predetermined drone-like activity. YouTube Bot hits a snag that needs some input from the human. And so what I would imagine happening is that if YouTube bot was prompted in such a way that it could interact with the human to get specific details, then the human responds, YouTube bot does its stuff, it can finally complete its task, and then YouTube bot signals completion, which means that the stack gets popped and the result goes back to meeting bot, who can now proceed with further interactions with the human.
That seems reasonable because basically what you're ditching is all the to and froing nonsense, trying to figure it out, and the bot itself should be able to give you a good summary of what was decided, exactly the same way as meeting bot just did. Right? It took whatever it was, 1 hour, 2 hours worth of transcript, and it said, okay, so here's the thing. Now, if the summary, the pop, doesn't answer Dave's question, I think you should still be able to interrogate the full stack. So let's say this was meeting bot.
Right.
So it's like meeting bot, blah, here's meeting, orange, 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 orange. Okay, so here's a summary, right, fine. We're now back into talking about logical fallacies, that sort of thing. And then I'm saying, I should have said this, but it wasn't in the summary. So it should be able to go back into that. So by pop, we shouldn't be losing data there. It should be some way of pulling back the data that wasn't summarized.
So the job here was pulling in the raw YouTube data, and you're saying that the meeting bot should be able to see all of the raw data?
It should be able to go back to primary source, I think.
Yeah, but this chat was about generating primary source. So what got generated was primary source.
Okay, so slightly different. But yes, it's a very good point. If you're generating primary source, then at the end of that orange set, you'd be going, yep, okay, that's good. That is now canonical. That's the thing that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can collapse all that. You might, this is pretty marginal, you might want to be able to go back and saying, why did you collapse it like this?
Right.
But we don't have to worry about that yet. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'll add in the functionality that allows for one agent to invoke switchboard to force a switch to another agent that they know would do the job better. And then instead of invoking it like a drone, which is like how the test file runner agent gets called, where it is not permitted to talk to the human, simply because that particular task doesn't need a human to talk to it, but also it's designed to run in huge parallel numbers, and so that would drown the human. But for other tasks that are non-drone like, one agent can switch the thread to another agent and then have it switched back to itself once the task is completed.
Yes. Now, this is not meant to be a confuser, but referencing our last conversation, it would be reasonable for you talking to Orange, and Orange kicks off 3 completely different bots on different models with the temperatures, and then comes back with its recommendation.
Right.
And you go, okay, show me the minority report.
Yeah. Show me the thinking. How did you get to that, right?
Exactly. So,
but you'd be doing that. Would you be doing that inside of Orange or inside of Red?
Well, Orange has finished its job.
Yeah.
Orange was meant to produce a report.
Yeah, but these. Red. So keep in mind that these messages from Orange are visible to the user on the thread. because orange wasn't working in drone mode. Orange was working on thread.
Yeah, but it's the pop thing. So by pop, what I'm assuming is in the long thread, orange is there's lots of work,
Yeah.
and then squishes it.
No, the output is passed back to the red one, but the thread contains all these messages. The squishing doesn't. The squishing happens far back. That is not squished.
So what do you mean by pop then?
Pop means when the orange bot terminates or recognizes the completion of its job, which is tricky because you've got to prompt it to know that it's going to get called in this terminal fashion. When that bot somehow or other signals that it's finished, then switchboard or some mechanism switches back the current agent to be red and gives it a chance to carry on now that all of the orange messages are on thread, given that it switched to orange in the first place to get a job done.
So by pop, all you're doing is, who am I talking to now?
Yeah, who did I switch back to? Which agent was previously the one that I was talking to?
That agent doesn't have any of the sysprompt of the ones just being popped back from.
It doesn't have the sysprompt, but it's got all the
constraints.
messages. It's got all the messages that the previous agent did.
Right. I think that would be reasonable, wouldn't it? Because
So that is long threading, but this extra feature is saying that previously we'd said there's an agent, you talk to an agent, a human talks to an agent. If the agent wants to get other AI tasks done, it calls a drone, and a drone is not allowed to talk to the human. But there is actually another case where the agent wants to switch to another agent that is capable of talking to the human to get its job done and to reduce ambiguity by way of conversation, but it still has this concept of it's there to do one job and then that job is done and it passes back the result to the calling agent in a way. And so that's what this is.
It conceptually makes sense, doesn't it? Because essentially what you're saying is, I'm talking to Agent X. It's like, okay, right, I need a specialist. Agent Y. Okay,
Yep.
I'm not talking to you.
Yep.
Agent Y, we go backwards and forwards.
Yep.
A whole bunch of stuff there. It's like, okay, that's placed back into Agent X. Agent X still knows what your intent is.
Yep. So that'll be like you're sitting in the office, you call in one expert for whatever reason. You're like, what's the square root of 2 to 57 decimal places? And then that agent goes, I need to call my math nerd. It switches into math nerd, and then the math nerd is like, what base number did you want that in? Blah, blah, like, asks a bunch of other questions, right? And then eventually calculates an answer based on that, and then hands back to the original guy. And all
if it's ambiguous, so say if mass agent give me pie, he goes, it's like, no, give me more pie, I like pie. It's like, okay, that's good enough. You go back. So now you've got two answers, but both answers are available to the original thread.
That's right. The original thread has all the messages, and that includes the ability to deduce that the first pie wasn't enough. You wanted more. And so that's now...
Even it can choose... Oh. All right. I got a call from the United States. Well, I'm getting a call. Yeah, doesn't matter. So get both answers back, and then it'll make its best judgment. If you say, right, okay, so, tell me what root pi is. It'll make a judgment.
Yeah.
And you go, then you can also say, give me 2 more precision. It's like, I've got another answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That feels good.
Okay.
That feels good.
So I'll implement that in 2. It's just, yeah. I think we're getting closer and closer to a stable model. These are all just little nuances that only really appear once you get into the weeds of it. And the testing framework is key to being able to exercise these kinds of systems and make sure they behave how we want.
Very much so. Very much so. And the feels like backchat is probably got still a role, but as almost like a running task that the M can call on if you're asking for just brute force do stuff.
What would that be?
I've just calculated, or my agent's just calculated 2 pies. I'd like to save those into 2 different files, please.
That wouldn't really be backchat, though, would it? That'd be the files agent, I would imagine.
Yeah, but backchat is a combination of all the file operations that interact with Git.
Well, many of the agents have the ability to interact with Git. Like the meeting bot was able to read from Git and do some stuff. I think what you're really meaning is you want like a system or a file system level thing, and you've attached that meaning to backchat. But
yeah, I think
but
it feels like just another bot. Really,
it's just, yeah. I think backchat dies now. It's a cool concept. It's a cool name, but I think that
I was getting.
Yeah, I know. I know, and I named so many things in the code repo backchat, so that's annoying. But so M takes over the summoner and does the switching between threads.
Yeah.
And then
switchboard creates new threads and makes M aware of those threads.
Well, switchboard, there's always a base thread, and if M can't handle it, then it goes to the base thread, which is what backchat used to be. That base thread is backchat, I think.
Well, previously at the start of the call, we were talking about how doing that. So
yeah, but how? So how on that thread, that background thread, that primary thread, there are a number of agents that are presented to you in the vanilla form. One of those agents is Hal. Right. And like that's the thread that, that's the system we present, and then people can use it to switch over to a CRM thread after they've logged in, for example.
I think that makes sense.
And so Hal is just an agent, another agent on that background based thread, and that's why I think it's backchat in principle, but it either needs a new name, or in honor of backchat we can keep it the same or whatever. But the backchat is the, first of all, there's no need for a keyword for backchat anymore because we use meaning.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah. And backchat could just be the root, the name that we give to the root chat or the first thread. So if you make a new tab, it'll make a new backchat, and then in that session, there's an.
I don't think that's necessary.
Well, that's
with the model. Something instantiates. Switchboard instantiates. Yeah.
Instantiates what?
How, for example.
Well, there needs to be a thread first, and then switchboard chooses to direct the user's input to Hal.
Yeah, but I'm thinking an absolute clean situation where you turn up and nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened. I have made you a thread by default, and switchboard is there and active, and switchboard, you haven't said anything, so switchboard hasn't chosen anything yet, and it waits for your
So
first
that
text.
thread that feels like HAL, right? It's your
But HAL's an agent
HAL.
on it. Agent's on it. HAL is an agent on it.
Okay.
Do you want to name HAL as the complete system of multiple agents?
I'm thinking when you turn up and you've never used this thing before,
Yeah.
having something that actually spends time with you, has fun with you, talks about Lamb, Robin, Josh, and your
Right,
holidays,
but
and worse.
the power
It's
of that
HAL.
system is knowing when to switch agents depending on your interests. And so,
Right.
yeah. And so HAL is just one of the agents, yeah?
Maybe I'm getting a bit sentimental here, but HAL seems to be your guy.
He's the default bot. Like if you say something and M's like, I don't have a thread for that, okay, I'm going to the main thread, and then you land on the main thread and switchboard is like, oh, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. That's when HAL gets called. HAL is the default agent for the base thread.
Right. If you go back up the rabbit holes all the way, the last thing you're going to see is HAL. It's like, thank God you're here. Okay.
If you've exhausted all your other reasonable options, HAL appears.
Yeah, but there needs to be something that instantiates HAL, which is the kind of bootstrap.
That's Artifact. Artifact kicks that all off.
Artifact of that. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, right. I
But
still don't think backchat has a particular role here. Oh, it's
okay.
sentimental.
All right, so backchat's dead.
I think so. Let me look at this. Well, let me stick into meeting bots and think about it. It sounds like it's unnecessary.
It sounds like backchat's dead. Yeah.
Right. Just
Okay.
at the time. I need to go, man.
All right. Me too.
Probably definitely need to go.
If you don't want to call it backchat, then I do need a name for what this base thread is, because base thread is unspecific.
Can we call it? Well, why not? I know in the architecture, HAL is just another thread.
Yeah.
But we're talking about
Another agent.
It's like the the first amongst equals. There seems to be if it's
You want to call it HAL?
well,
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, I do.
That base
like,
thread is HAL.
If you go, up,
Yep.
up,
Yep.
and you can't go up again. You're talking to.
You're talking to HAL.
I think that should be HAL. Yeah.
You are talking to HAL, but you want to name the whole thread as HAL.
Yeah,
the whole black thread is HAL.
I do.
HAL's thread. Okay. All right. That's cool.
And I don't know.
I need to defer that rename for a bit because that's going to take a lot of time. So I need to leave it named as backchat for now, and then I'll rename it to HAL later.
Don't worry about renaming inside it.
Okay.
But also, I'm there might be a better way of talking about it because, well, we threw out as a bit of a name.
Yeah, true.
And it might not be the best. But there is a name for that. If you go all the way up, out of every rabbit hole you can, you can't go any further.
Yep.
That thing, that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. I'll copy paste this meetings output over to you so you can have that for shits and giggles, and then
nice.
Yeah.
I've got limited ability. It's an afternoon, being Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mentioned.
No worries.
But on my side, made quite good progress. I think, especially with this, if we get this in tests, it'd be brilliant. But bringing in everything we've been talking about in the last 6 months.
Yep. Awesome.
In order to generate a just-in-time website.
Awesome.
And by that, I mean, here's 20 chunks of text that, depending on what you're interested in, displays what you're interested in, which seems reasonable.
That's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah. And also, as a throw aside, I've already got a bot. I'm not sure you at the moment, but just take my word on this. I'm taking each one of these things and creating a blog post.
Right.
Well, I was thinking more of I don't know what the right word is. It's like today we talked about this. Boom.
A daily report summary.
Yeah, it's like a log of what we've been talking about. Anyway, that's already done.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm about to go.
Okay, buddy.
That was deeply enjoyable.
Sweet.
I enjoyed that.
Oh well, plenty more to come, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Man.
I'll see you later.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
See ya.